Good morning, student. Today's chapter, that is chapter number 5, separation of substances. Already we have studied method of separation. So this method of separation we follow here, that that depends on the size of the substance which are found in a mixture. So we are depending on that, we are separating different mixture from a substance. So here we have seen method of separation. Method of separation we find by end picking, the size is much larger compared to different other smaller size. So here end picking we can it is one of the methods through which we can separate it. End picking, and another one is threshing. For example, that is crop plants. From there the seeds are removed by threshing. And next one is, that is winnowing is one of the method through which we can separate the seeds from a main crop plants. Next one is sieving. Sieving is one of the process. Here we will find this, the substance which we separate are much lesser size than the substance we are removing from a mixture. That is threshing and end picking. So next one is the next one is sedimentation, decantation, and filtration. So here in sedimentation, decantation, and filtration, here the substance which are separated, the components we are separating from a mixture are very very small size, and also a lighter impurities. Lighter impurities. The impurities which we are removing here is much smaller size. Much smaller size. So in this we have studied that it may be possible to separate component of mixture by winnowing and end picking. For example, there may be a lighter impurities like dust or soil particles in rice or pulses. So if you see, how are the such impurities separated from rice or pulses before cooking? So before cooking rice or pulses, what you are doing? We are adding water in order to remove some lighter impurities, or we can say dust particles, that will what they will float, so we can remove easily. Or you are separating in by adding water. So here rice or pulses are usually washed before cooking. Before cooking we are adding water, and we are washing the rice before cooking. So when you add water to this, the impurities like dust and soil, they will float on the water. So we can easily, the particles can be get separated easily. These impurities go into the water, which becomes a little muddy. Now what will sink to the bottom of the vessel? You'll find if you are washing a rice or pulses, initially what happen? You will find muddy water in brown color. So those particles cannot be removed with the help of any with the help of hand, or by removing all those water. So what happen? Some of the very fine particles will settle at the bottom part. Settle at the bottom part. So and also the little larger in size, the particles which are larger in size, they are floating on the water. They can be separated. Have you seen that the vessel is tilted to pour out the dirty water? Yes, we have seen. We have seen the dirty or muddy water. The glass is tilted, and we will find we are pouring in a separate jar. So we are removing all those muddy water. So when the heavier component in the mixture settle after water is added to it, the process is called sedimentation. What happen? If there is a heavier impurities, that is that will settle at the bottom part. Those substances which are settling at the bottom part by adding water are known as called. This process is called what? Sedimentation. Sedimentation. You can see here sedimentation. So here sedimentation. This sedimentation. So if you are taking a glass, suppose this is a glass. You're taking a glass. So in that glass, you are adding water, some water. You are adding some water. So whatever this water, after some time, some particles will settle at the bottom part. Here they will settle at the bottom part. This process, up to this level, water is there. What is there? Water there. This is what? Impurities. 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 This is impurities. So what happened? This process is called sedimentation. What is the sedimentation? When you add water in a pulses or rice, what happens? Some heavier particles, they will settle at the bottom part. That is called sedimentation. But what will remain? Clear water will not remain. Some dust particles which are lighter, they will just mixed with water and they will remain in the water. So those the what when the water along with the dust is removed, the process is called decantation. What is that called? Decantation. You have to underline this definition. You have to write in your notebook. Decantation means the dust particles which are mixed in the water, that is removed by tilting the glass. So this process is called decantation. Let us find few other mixture that can be separated through sedimentation and decantation. So, for example, the same principle is used for separating a mixture of two liquids that do not mix with each other. For example, that is very best example, that is oil and water. If you pour water in water, if you add oil, what happen? The two mixture will not mix, they will be separated. So what, which is lighter? Oil is lighter, the density is less, therefore they will float on the water. That can be separated by the process called decantation. That can be separated by the process called decantation. So here, if you mix oil and water, and they can be separated by process called decantation. So remember this, sedimentation and decantation. So if you compare, for example, yesterday we have seen larger in size. If I provide a basket, in the basket there is two fruits, that is guava and mango, that easily you can separate it. Easily you can, by picking with the help of hand, you can separate it. But that can be easily done. But what about the smaller size, smaller particles, smaller impurities? There are certain methods through which we can separate it. We are studying. So here some rice seeds are can be separated by the method of separation, like hand picking, threshing, or you can say sieving, then winnowing. These are the process through which we can separate the seed uh, from a mixture, or you can say from a plants, or from a crop plants. But uh, if the substances are much smaller than that, then that can be separated by sedimentation, decantation, and evaporation, we can say. So here we have seen many examples. If you go to the fruit market, the, in the fruit market they are making a juice. So what about that liquid fat, that whatever we are consuming, they are separating the solid fat, they are removing. So this is how they are separating a solid and liquid fat. So you can say here, so the component that forms the top layer can be separated by decantation. Here, the top layer can be separated by decantation. Decantation means what? Decantation means what? Decantation means what? So, if you are adding water into a rice, what happens? Some dust particle will be remain on the water, that can be removed by process of decantation. In the top layer, by tilting the glass, we can remove the water. So that is the process of removing the impurities from the solution. That process is called decantation. So let us again consider mixture of solid and liquid. After preparing a tea, most probably will experience, by preparing a tea, you are putting tea in a milk, we can say. So what do you do to remove the tea leaves? We are using a strainer. We are using the strainer. But without using the strainer, you just try to remove by decantation. By decantation means just tilt and just remove the water. So it helps a little, but do you still get a few leaves in your tea? Yes, definitely there are still few leaves in your tea. Now for the tea through a strainer. Now for the tea into a strainer, what happens? Completely it is removed. Completely it is removed. So here we will find, did, did all the tea leaves remain in the strainer? This process is called filtration. So by decantation you cannot remove, then we can go for other process, that is called filtration. We can use the strainer, the pores which are present in the strainer, that depends on that pore, we can filter the impurities. So which method of separating tea leaves from prepared tea is better, decantation or filtration? Decantation will not much better compared to filtration. Filtration will remove according to the pore size. Pore means, suppose for example, this is a strainer. If you find this is a strainer, so this is a handle, this is a strainer. You'll find here you will find here, like this it will be there. For example, for example. So these four size. This is I'm making a little bit larger size. So if you see very small size, what you will find. So that depends on the filtration. Filtration depends the process of separating impurities from a substance that depends on the pore size. So let us now consider the example of water that we use. Do all of us at all times get safe water to drink? Sometime water supplied through taps may be muddy. So the water collected from ponds or river may also be muddy. So for example, you take a pond water, that will be a muddy water. So you cannot separate by sedimentation or decantation or we can separate with the help of filtration. So for this purpose we need to separate, means we need a filter paper that is much smaller, minute pores are present. We cannot see with our naked eyes, but that is very smaller pores are present. So with the help of filter paper we can separate those muddy water and we can get a crystal clear water. So this is how we separate very minute dust particles from a solution or from a mixture through which we cannot separate it by decantation or sedimentation. So this is a much uh, nowadays they're using this filter paper for separating. So if you see filter paper, it is found in a conical shape. You'll find in conical shape. For example, you can see here this is separating two components of a mixture by sedimentation and decantation. This is the process. But if you find, if you see here, they are making what they're making. They're making filter paper. This is how the process here is done to make a filter paper. See, it is in concept. This is in concept. Concept. This is in concept. But there are minute force which are present in the filter paper through which the the impurities can be separated from a mixture. So this is folding a filter paper to make a cone so that easily it can be separated the impurities from a mixture. So this is how they follow today in at present they follow these methods of separating. Now there we will find micro technologies has been adapted so that they can be separated with the today's advanced technology. They have uh, used various technologies to uh, remove the impurities from a mixture or we can say solution. So now we can find aquaguard, such as aquaguard that can be filtered the salt water, or that can be filtered with the we can say impurities which are cannot be removed by decantation or sedimentation. Nowadays they are using the different technology to separate smaller impurities which we will not see with our naked eyes but can be separated, that can be separated, but we can observe the color and texture we can find, but we cannot separate with the help of decantation or sedimentation. I hope you have understood this, um, the process of separating impurities from a mixture. In next class we will study the next topic. So this pdf from this chapter and next chapter I will upload today, so that make sure that you go once through this chapter so that you will have a clear idea. If you are not if you are finding it difficult to understand this chapter, so please contact me so that I can help you out to each and every topic that you are not understanding. So thank you.